Hi, Jimmy. Good to see you again. Really appreciated the other day when I was meeting with you at the International Festival. I wanted to kind of push your time today because we had mentioned some different difficulties in communication here at your multi-site daycare. I want to make sure, go over some objectives with you and take a few minutes just to make sure we're on the same page and kind of recover what we had in that brief conversation.
That sounds good.
Perfect. So what you had told me a little bit was that you're trying to grow. There's a lot of pressure from the parents. And how many sites did you say you had?
Right now we have 6.
You have 6. Okay. And what's kind of going on now with your connectivity, or as a whole? What are you trying to? What's your objective?
Well, we are integrating tablets, iPads, different type of tablets for our students, so they can get more done on those, and so we need the right connectivity, wirelessly and otherwise, for those throughout the different locations, and also so we can connect to the different locations.
Okay.
Also, so the parents can also be able to access the tablets as well, maybe securely.
Okay, right. Security, probably a big issue with the kids being on camera and talking into
we
the
need a closed network.
Okay. So right now, what you're kind of limited right now. So
yeah, we have AT&T. We don't like it.
Well, what's kind of the routine like? Are you able to actually do the videos now, or are the parents even able to watch right now?
Well, we do videos, but the parents don't have much access, and we don't want to. We don't want to do too much because we don't want the kids, like you said, we don't want the kids out there where just anybody can look.
Right. Okay. Well, I think I'm understanding a little bit more. You mind if I use your chalkboard over here?
Yeah, please don't mind the bunnies. It's Easter here at the daycare, so we're decorating.
No problem. All right. So to confirm your objectives of what you're trying to do, is to increase your connectivity to be able to stream from multiple sites, because you have 6 different locations, and to have that connectivity going on, to be able to use the iPads and have all of that infrastructure in place. So you need the connectivity, you need the infrastructure in place. And currently what's happening is that's a growth limiter for you guys, because you're not able to pull in more revenue because you're not as competitive out there with the iPads. You can't do that, and the parents aren't wanting to come in and put their students in here because they want to make sure that their kids aren't being blasted all over the internet. So you need something that's a lot more secure. So in order to do all that, your objective over the next couple of years is to be able to streamline things in business so you can actually grow those revenues.
Right.
Is that right?
That's correct.
Okay, so basically what you're telling me is due to the current state of your network, it's not allowing you to implement those things that you want to do, and it's limiting this, right?
Yes.
So I like the songs going on. Sorry, I keep breaking your chalk.
Well, that's all right. Chalk's cheap.
Alright, so what we're going to do is I'm going to basically make sure I've got this all laid out, because I know your teachers and stuff probably use a lot of visual cues for students, and I find that it makes sure that we're on the same page, and by doing this, it really kind of demonstrates the bigger picture of where you're trying to go, and later on maybe we need to pull in additional parties or IT people, which you probably, that's not your forte. You just want to make sure the business is stable. So before we get there, I wanted to go over all this with you, and then we'll reconvene later on if we need to bring in additional parties to get the actual nitty-gritty details of all the technicalities out.
Right.
So right now you got your company, which is you got multiple sites. So I'll just write your little daycare over here, and get your little trees, and I'm gonna put 6 right there because you've got 6 of them in the different buildings that you've got around the state. And then right now you've also, I'm sure, you've got the teachers, and then you've also got the students, and then you've got all of the people here in that demand as well. And then you've also got, what I'm just going to put a $sign here, is being able to grow and, maybe, I don't know if you want to grow more sites or just make sure that those are stable enough, but give yourself that growing room over the next couple of years to be there. And right now, we'll have your current network set up here, where basically all these 6 sites are on your network, and they're needing that connectivity to connect together, and what keeps falling down, it's just, you can't implement the iPads. I mean, you've got boxes of them sitting over here that I see. It looks like you want to do that, but is that something that's limiting you to do that? So we're going to do this. That's going to be a demand. This is going to be your current network state. So all that's pushing that demand already of what's going on, and you can't put those out there when you've already invested lots of money in that. And I'm sure your teachers are begging you to be able to implement this too, so they can have those learning capabilities as well. And then, I don't know if they're on break or if they take naps or whatnot, if the teachers are streaming on YouTube, or if they're doing that international training. Like I had a lot of other preparatory schools, what they've done is they've actually, in order to help do the international type growth and learning about other cultures, they'll stream live out and connect. Instead of when we used to write pen pals and write letters, they're actually streaming into other countries and actually being able to connect with each other. Are you able to do that now? That's something that I've had a lot of others that have really, really said that they're doing well because of that, and it's growing that culture in their current schools and current states there. And of course, to be able to do that, you want to be able to advertise that you're doing this, so your demands are coming in from the parents who are bringing you that money. I'm sure the cost to get there, all these demands are coming in, and you're spinning around circles going, I don't know what to do. Kind of in this implement and pull back routine, pushing out stuff, and then break fix kind of can't grow because it's just not, current network demands and all of what's currently going on is not allowing that to happen. Is that correct?
That's about right, yes.
Okay. Pause. So you got your limited, bolt-on, reactive type of state, and then the latency issues and security don't allow you to do those streaming things. And with that being said, you've got your current network. Does all that sound about right about what's going on?
Yeah, that's about right.
Okay, and then so this is your current demand on your networks. It's limited, and then your objectives right here, or right now what's happening is they're not being met because of the demands, and you can't keep up with what's going on. And that's going to be your current network state and how that's actually playing into fruition. So it's limiting you to getting into that objectives over there, right?
Yes.
So you can't actually implement those iPads and those things that you want to happening, and this is just where you're trying to go. It's not happening. Basically, let me make sure that we can see which of your objectives and strategies are more urgent than others, and maybe so we can suggest some next steps of how we can actually implement some of this. So basically, what you're looking at doing is, kind of like what needs to happen first. So I'm gonna put you want to increase your revenues because that's going to go away if you can't get to over here, right? Because you're not going to have that steady stream of income. You're going to just say business continuity for your infrastructure and security. And you know, your compliance and being secure and everything else that's going on with that. I mean, those are major issues that really are impacting your growth and what your objectives are that can't get into happening. So, all right, so if this all looks accurate and this is kind of what you're trying to get to, and those are the initiatives you're wanting to get into, I remember this song. I should come hang out with Daycare's on more. It's so fun.
More welcome to.
You know, it's awesome. Basically, so this is where you're trying to get, and you're telling me this is all accurate. So let me kind of tell you a little bit how we've helped a couple of other schools by implementing what we have done, and how, you know, just a little bit more about now I understand what your objectives are. Let me show you, these next steps that I might like to recommend if it sounds good to you, to see if we're on the same page and move forward with this conversation and get some of the more technical people involved. We basically, you know, I've got a great school. They've got 10 sites, not really a school, I say school, but it's a daycare, and they're really wanting to improve. There's really high pressures on their demands. And what we've done is we've gone in there, and by supplying them with our bandwidth, because of Charter having, basically what we do is we've got one network, which means we own it. We own the infrastructure end to end. And so when we went in there, and we went in with a project management team, we have one team of people who work well with the other people there. And by doing all of this, we created a synergy, and essentially it's 10 sites all over, but they were able to use their marketing dollars more. They increased their growth because it was all able to be overseen. So the president there, actually, he didn't have to travel around as much, and that helped keep him off the road. And by doing that, created the security and the environment the parents were pushing in, and they implemented iPads in some of these 3-year-old classrooms. And so by doing that, he was able to increase the rates and things that they were charging parents. So all that revenue went up. You know, he loves, just hands down, we've been able to change it. And it was really nice to be able to impact and have that drive, especially since it's the future and growth and our whole everything. I mean, that's where we're all going, right? So, you know, I mean, he had 10 sites, but, you know, that's my current customer. He loves us. We've been able to do a whole secure network end to end, implement some things in there. And our project management team actually went in there and met with his project management team, and we sat down and got into the technical nitty-gritty details and things of that nature. And then some other things that have happened that are very similar is some of the just off-site doctor's offices. Even though you guys are a school, the doctor's offices are similar to that, because these are actually ones that have the kids, and they're really focused on the cancer patients, and they've been able to maintain synergy, which makes it look like, even though there are 10 sites or like 6 sites, it looks like we one infrastructure together. And so no matter where they are, if they have this thing, they can go in and they've got the records right there, which I'm thinking is probably nice if you were to travel around or have teachers that swap around. I don't know if you guys rotate like they do and have those rounds, but if you've got 6 locations, maybe that was important, and being able to have access to all these things, and it's all the same, and that way it's not having to relearn and not stopping that process, and, you know, having that happen. So, you know, it really worked out well for them, and they've grown, and we've seen by helping them and doing this initiatives and moving forward, we're actually doing really well. So not us, I say we, it's like I'm part of their team. They're doing really well. So it's really helped, you know, that customer as well. And all of this. So what we have here, and like I've kind of mentioned a couple times, is we found that with the same dollar amount, you know, we've got, what we do is we've got 3 times the amount of bandwidth what we're going to offer, what your current growth is, which is your current network limits that. We're able to supply in a full gig network. So 1 gig will come into your site, so you can create your multi-site locations. You'll be able to do your streaming. You'll be able to implement those things. Those iPads will get out of the box before, you know, it's kind of like driving a car off the lot. They depreciate the moment, and technology is always growing. So you'll be able to actually get those out of the box, knock the dust off, and give them to these students' hands, and be able to maybe, you know, grow that revenue that you're wanting to get into. So what the next steps I'd like to take with you is to sit down, go over with your team, because my team, we've got 1 network, 1 project manager, myself, get us the whole network end to end, and 1 full infrastructure. We sit down with your team, sits down with my team. You know, do you want to set up a next meeting? So with your IT guys or your security guys or whoever needs to be involved, who are those people that would need to be involved in our next steps?
Yeah, just probably me and then our head IT person. Yeah, we can go ahead and set up something.
Okay. So what we can do, basically, do you want to go ahead? Do you want, we can set up that meeting if you want to look at your calendar. Is next week going to be good for you? Do you know his calendar?
Yeah, well, my calendar's his calendar, so next week is fine.
Perfect.
Next Wednesday
Okay.
would be great.
Awesome. Well, I'll get my system engineers or my sales engineers involved as well. We have them. We'll sit down and go over everything. Does all this sound accurate to you? And does this look like something that really would help you guys move forward? And sound like something we should, you know?
Yes, I mean, all this is exactly what I'm needing. So if you can help me out, that'd be great.
Perfect. All right, so I'll just go ahead and just write this little reminder, your next steps. We'll set up our team meeting next week, and then we will go over making sure and confirm how we can actually start putting the 6 sites and implement all this together. And I'm sure you're really busy, and if you know, we need to pull more people together and not get into technical details, we can iron all of that out, and kind of those will be our next steps moving forward to making sure we can make this thing happen for you. And we'll, you know, of course, by implementing all this, if we move forward even further, we'll hopefully gain your partnership and sponsorship in this, and you'll be one of my next, you know, success stories, and really make that impact on the world. And, you know, because I love what you guys are doing here. So we'll say the next steps will be to actually grow your revenue. Does that sound good?
That sounds outstanding.
It sounds like you guys have people lining up outside. You must be getting ready for y'all's Easter party. So I appreciate the time today. And thank you so much. I really look forward to next week.
Oh, yeah, thank you for coming out, Katie.
Awesome. Thank you.